So today we're going to be talking about why we chose to homeschool in Lagos, Nigeria.
Chamberlain.
Danny Chamberlain. Oh yeah.
Was my old class teacher.
Rinse this one. Get a place, let's rinse so that we can soak the oats.
Here for work.
Excuse me? It's a Simon Kaka. Yeah, oh, Simon Kaka. Kila Majadare. So, why did we choose this path? So first of all, let me do just a quick backstory about how we got here. We, when I was a stay-at-home mom, but you are doing that on purpose.
I know.
So I was a stay-at-home mom, and to be honest, at the time I was also working, like a remote job, and in the midst of that remote job, here I was taking care of this child. Can you please stop?
I'm really hungry.
You're hungry and we're making the oats for you. You can't have cake. Yeah, Shebi is watermelon. You'll be choosing the unhealthy things. Your brother can have his watermelon, but you can't have cake. You tell him to cut some watermelon for you now. Why are you crying that you can't have? Why are you choosing the unhealthy thing? Pick the watermelon as well. If you pick the watermelon, then it's not gonna
harm. It's not gonna really harm.
So anywho's, I was working remotely at the time. I had a child. Remember, this is my first rodeo, so there was so much going on. I was at the time also working with my husband. I was also doing YouTube in another life. I was also doing YouTube, so there was just a whole lot. And to be honest, at the time I just like, well, see, I just can't do this. In my mind, the next thing was like, okay, so let's get a crutch or something. Let's do something that would, the bit was just to get him out of my space for that time period. But just to get him out of my space for that time period, right? That I just needed some time away from this child. It removed the seeds. So I was like, this child, man, I just can't. I can't. So in that vein, when I just knew I couldn't do it, that's led us to going to look for schools for crèche. So when we went, we live on the island, and I'd already heard the whole, there can be traffic, there can be this, there can be that, and he was just about 1 year to 18 months. I can't really pinpoint exactly now, but so I was like, I knew I couldn't go around, so I couldn't go beyond somewhere that was close to our house, right? Not knowing that yes, there were schools that were close, not so close to our house, but I just wanted to find somewhere around. That was a walking distance. You didn't have to be waking up super early to take this child to crèche and all of that. So took some time off, took a walk around, and we then tried to find the school. But this was like 7 to 8 years ago, right? Went into one school, everywhere was dark, gloomy. It's like because we came, right, that they were telling us that, oh, I think they were to put on the gen or something. So it was like children are in these classrooms now. So everywhere was just dark and looked gloomy and everything. Anyhow, we didn't like that. The secondly, so when we now eat it well. So when we now eventually eat it well, you will eat watermelon. This is your idea of watermelon being done. Like, what's that? Eat the whole thing. Eat the reddish things. Don't waste anything over here. You don't waste. Yeah, come and carry your food though.
Who? Oh, okay, that guy. How about the
So everything was just dark and gloomy in that classroom, and I'm like, definitely not. We went to another school around the area. Then that one was just too big, like it was a big school. And because it was too big now, it was supposed to be crèche and everything. Just felt it wasn't too. We wanted it like a small place, right? So we went to about 3 or 4 schools around the area, but we just were not satisfied. There was one that was looking good, it was a Montessori school, but at the time it was about 100. That's, remember, 8 years ago. It was about 150k per term for crèche. But to enter, you pay about 500 or so at the time. I was like, a new school was expensive, but I'm like, you still have to get value for the expense, even though you are, you know that it's expensive. So that was one of the reasons why. So first we now, try to reevaluate. First of all, we just believed that we couldn't be entering traffic with our child. Secondly, since we didn't find, my husband was willing to go with this because I said I was tired and everything. But that's how we now had the conversation. When we didn't see this, we now had the conversation. So, anyways, my husband decided at the time for us to now have a conversation around this crèche thing. Told me, okay, can we because of that, he did not want to say what he wanted to say because I was tired and everything. Since we hit a roadblock, he was thinking that because a child can't talk, he doesn't feel like we should take the child to school yet and blah blah blah. So I was like, okay. In my mind I'm like, but it's me that would it's me that's going to take care of the child, right? And because that at this point I was very tired, I was exhausted to my bones. So he was now telling me about something that happened to his niece when she was in crèche and all of that. Maybe she just dislocated her arm or something. But because she couldn't talk till today, like nobody really knows what really happened. So yeah, I gave it some thought. When I gave some thoughts, I was like, okay, fine. Okay, so when he's here, what are we going to be doing, right? So he was like, oh, there's something called homeschooling. He has an aunt that did it with 5 kids in Nigeria. I was like, interesting. So he said that he had an aunt that homeschooled 5 other kids in Lagos. I was like, oh, that was interesting. So I then decided, okay, I agreed. I was like, okay, fine. There's this thing called homeschooling. It's working for some people. Let me see what it's about. I put my research cap on and I started researching. I researched a lot. I checked, and then I realized that it was actually a very big thing abroad. I realized that it was a very big thing abroad, and I was like, okay, let's even see what the Nigerian scene is like. And of course, I searched. I found a couple of people, right, just like very handful, not even just a lot, and then there were very old blog posts or not so detailed information around what they're doing, homeschooling and everything. So I was like, oh, okay. Around this time, I also found a mommy and me play group, right? And thinking about, what can we be doing? So we started going there 3 times a week. Sorry, not 3 times a week. They had options, so we started going once a week. We went once. We picked going once a week. So we started going once a week. But at the time, they were already closing down. So I could only spend 1 term with them, I think. So I spent only 1 term with them. But that community, that little community of people that I met there, and also the fact that there was not so much information around homeschooling in Lagos, homeschooling in Nigeria, homeschooling in Africa. There was not a lot of information. I decided, okay, let's start the homeschooling conversations. And my idea was that at least there were people that were early years education experts. That's my husband's auntie that had homeschooled. At least those are the people that I knew, to bring them up and just talk to us about how to and what to do. So I done extensive research, and then that's when my eyes started opening up to, oh, this is actually the reasons why I should be homeschooling. So I started thinking back on my own education and all of the things that I had thought about. Oh, this is how these things went, or why did they go like this? So I started thinking so much around my own education, and that was when it started clicking to me. It's like, do you really want your child to also go through the same process? And seeing how we don't put so much thought, majority of us, I'm not categorizing them because I know that there are people that have been intentional right from the get-go. So don't put so much thought into their education as a whole. We're just like, okay, it's time, let them go to crèche. We look for the right criteria to pick the best crèche or the best school for our children per time, and then we just let them go. But not overall thought into the actual thing. So right now, why we choose homeschooling is because, first, the education system, there's just something broken about it at the moment. And the more I research into it, the more I see that it's a problem that will probably not go away in the nearest future. You need to just accept that. If they continue doing the things the way they do it, it's not going to go away in the nearest future. Another reason why we homeschool, because we do believe that children don't need this kind of stress that they are put through, especially in this our climate where your school, the best school for your child, is not walking distance from your child. It's not a walking distance from your home. It's not a walking, you have to go to or travel to go and get the best school for your child. I'm not saying that they are not good schools, they are. But to get those schools, you have to go a distance, and it's not the most convenient thing for a child. I mean, I see them coming with school buses to pick some children from where I live, and then the children are at 7 o'clock in the morning. They're sleeping in the bus. And then they have to, so they're not well rested, they are stressed because they'll still come back home very late. So I also don't believe that children need to go through that stress at this age. Right. And another reason now why we homeschool, because I do now believe that the kind of education that I want to give my child for the future is not something that I see. It's not something that I see often. And to be able to get that kind of education for my child, again, I need to travel. So the kind of education that I want for my child for the future of the world that is, gradually unveiling itself, I don't have it. And I'm seeing that I can create it. So that's why we're choosing to homeschool. So my question to you today is, why are you choosing to homeschool? I'll show you more snippets of what we do, basically just our morning routine in terms of like home education for today. So everything that we did today, which is May 1st, I'll show you, well, maybe not everything, but I'll show you snippets. So what we're doing today, this is my book where I read. We're doing kindness this week. So for kindness, these are the first few activities we did on Monday. Today's Wednesday, so we are doing a splash of kindness. Kindness to yourself. Kindness is contagious game, and then we'll make a kindness rainbow. Thank you very much, everybody. Can we continue with our circle time, please? Thank you. So, good morning. Today is the last day of April, which is the 30th of April 2025.
I want to go to GT Food and Drinks.
Yeah, GT Food and Drinks is this weekend. So, anywho's, so first of all, let's go through our states and capital. Who's going to tell us what is this?
I am new here. I am new here.
You're new here.
The Spider-Man is new.
Okay, welcome Spider-Man to our circle time. So we look at our states and capital in our country, Nigeria. So we're talking about Oyo State. What is the capital of Oyo State?
I said I'm new here.
You're new, but you're Spider-Man, you should know. Oyo State, what's the capital of Oyo State? You will not die. In Jesus' name. At last, the old man appeared and announced, "Well, I have finished. It was a Saturday, which was our uncle's day for cleaning and tidying the house. He had spent the morning doing this so that he could go with ID in the afternoon. And the hut was now shining bright and clean. You love that the painting rhymes with the background? In terms of like color? Or what? Okay. Let me do more yellow first. More yellow. Oh yeah, green.
Need the director. I don't need. Mommy,
Down here. Yes, good job.
They always be telling some tales about pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
What happened?
It's floating.
Not the thing, the water.
The water is.
So, well, at 4 o'clock, I think it's very much on 4. It's around 4 ish. That's when I start. Well, I'm supposed to start preparing dinner. Usually, I'm not the one doing it because, but my help is on leave. That's how I call it. I'm not at the whole leave. So, anyways, everything is running smoothly without her, but it takes a toll on me. So, we're making beans. The children have gone to our estate grandma's house just right now. They just went now. So there's some things, of course, I couldn't film because everything is just somehow. But anyways, I think I'll even end it here in terms of like active recording, because I know that once they're back, it's usually evening time to take a walk and then to eat, and then it's always chaotic. Our next time seems always chaotic. So yeah, so basically that's what we do, how we do it. I didn't shoot all the parts of every single thing we did, but I'm sure that in the course of these 30 days I will highlight all the other parts of what we do. So I'm making beans today. The secret ingredient to beans, to yummy beans, it's onions, lots of it. So today I'm doing 3 bulbs of onions, 3 bulbs of onions, and then do it inside my pressure pots. 1 pot of beans, 1 pot onion, 1 pot beans, and then because of the children, they like plantain in the beans, so I'm adding plantain as well. So that's the way it is without any stress. You get it.
Beans again.
A hot beans again. Did you eat beans yesterday before you start saying again?
I didn't want a hot beans again.
So what do you want?
I wanted ordinary beans.
Ordinary beans. You don't want hot beans.
Mm-hmm.
My friend, go and sit down and say thank you, mommy.
Until I kick your head.
Say thank you, mommy. Say excuse me. Say thank you, mommy. Say thank you, mommy, for the beans.
Thank you, mommy, for the ice beans.
Ice beans. So this is a 30-day challenge where I'm going to be homeschooling with you, basically bringing you into my process and how we've homeschooled for the past 7 years in Lagos, Nigeria. And I'm pretty sure that it will be you will be able to glean something, especially if you are an African homeschooler, to be able to know how this might be able to work in your own climate, because we are sort of similar. I know we're different, cultures are different, but in terms of like the way we think, our cultural identity, we're the same. We're the same, and we all have, most of us have the same problems. We have infrastructure issues, we have issues with not childcare not being priority in our countries. We have children being second class citizens, those kind of things, not making play areas for children, not having parks, and all of those things. I'm sure we all have the same kind of issues. So yeah, those are the things that I'll be showing you for the rest of this 30 days. Fingers crossed before that, I follow through. Sure you comment why you chose to homeschool. Why do you think people should homeschool? Click the link, subscribe to this channel for more, because I really do want to show a lot more behind the scenes of how we do what we do. So see you.